Welcome everybody. So glad you can join. It's me and Emily again. I don't know whether you remember from last year. But this year we're doing 6 sessions to delight and entertain you. And this is the first session, which is all about our values and our works and actually how we all can work in our communities. And then we've got how we help bring people together, and then how you recruit help and more volunteers, how we do the big lunch on a budget, and that waste less community get-togethers, always looking at how we can make the most of what we've got. And then, of course, it's never too late. That last minute community get-together, how we can run around the street, see what we've got, and come together for a big lunch. So Emily's joining me today. So Emily is our head of research. And I think when we talk about our values at Eden, it's really important to show how they show out through our work. So at Eden, we have team values, which we epitomise as human beings, but also that we really, really want to show throughout our work. And a lot of that, as you would guess, being Eden is about being nature connected, but also about being active and curious and kind-hearted. I have a kind-hearted pin. I'm very proud of it. But actually, how do we engage others? How do we create that positive feel that encourages people to be together and show up every day? So we really, really try and focus on how do we uplift people, give them resources, give them hope, give them permission and opportunities to actually shine their light. And that's what we do at Eden Project. We actually work in, as you probably know, across communities right across the UK. And we want to make sure that people in our neighbourhoods and our communities know that we're here and trying to help. It's been really challenging, and I think we continue to see the challenges, don't we, Emily? Our communities are facing multiple challenges, threatening that individual and community well-being. And I think it's being compounded by polarisation, the cost of living crisis, people feeling isolated or lonely. And we know this not just from our research, but from others' research. Emily, could you share some of the things that we know? I know it'd take a long time to share them all, but just some of those things that underpin why we do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely, Tracy. It's there are many challenges, as you say, that have been that many communities across the UK are facing. Ever since the pandemic, we know that the cost of living, through our research at the Big Lunch, we ask year on year to a nationally representative survey, what is the key issue for you? And all number one across all of UK adults is the cost of living, and it consistently is that key issue for many households across the UK. And we also know, like from research, other research by Joseph Rowntree Foundation and the Citizen Advice, that poverty and cost of living consistently is the key issue amongst these organisations. And they see at the Citizens' Advice that people turn up with sort of low debt is sort of just that challenge of meeting household bills, and that is a consistent challenge for many communities. So yes, cost of living is consistently there for many people. We also know through our research at the Big Lunch that a key motivating factor for people wanting to take part in a big lunch is actually due to the cost of living crisis. They're wanting to get together with the people in their community. They're wanting to have an event that brings everyone together, and they can show that sort of that mutual support for each other. And that's one of the key motivating factors for many people to take part. So yeah, cost of living is very much a key concern. And then you mentioned polarization too. Yeah. And again, polarization, we know that we see it a lot in the media, that there's increasing polarization, and sort of it's very much evident from not only the work that we do and what we can, people from taking part in our courses and coming to the Big Lunch tell us about, but other academics at King's College London, that they've have recently done some research showing that UK adults say that there is increased feelings among people that the country is becoming more divided, which is really challenging again for communities, because as you mentioned right at the start, you know, we need those resilient, connected communities, and these sort of things just sort of chip away at that. And also that we know that from our own research that when people come on our courses, our online courses, you mentioned all the work that we do in our community, that the online courses are a key reason, a key priority for many people coming on our courses is finding an activity or an idea or project that will bring everyone in their community together. That's sort of that really that hook that will sort of connect everyone. So that, yes, again, we kind of see this evidence through much of the work that we do.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I guess we're very fortunate because we see the lovely side of life. We see those communities coming together to look after it. And what we find is actually those communities and individuals are struggling, that they actually share and connect quite a lot, because most of it's out of necessity, but actually that resilience and that networking is what keeps those people buoyed. And here at Eden Project, we do things like the big lunch and the big help out to encourage people to come together and take one small step of action that they can take that makes a difference to them or someone else or to where they live. And we do have our courses, and we have a whole network of people, like-minded people, coming together to share ideas and support each other, which is a beautiful thing, I think, to see. And what we always try and do is encourage that resilience, that sense of we all can do one thing, that little bit of action. And if anybody wants to do that, we help and support them the best we can. And this year with the big help out and the big lunch, we're looking at how do we get people more involved in their communities, and how do we encourage people to take action and get involved in volunteering. So this year we're going to have an even bigger do, bringing the big lunch and the big help out together, because I think now we need it even more than ever. There's so much negative news, and we see such beautiful positive stuff, that it's actually how do we encourage those resilient communities and that informal and formal volunteering. What does the volunteering picture look like?
Well, that's a great question, Tracey. Yeah, it's sadly volunteering has been in decline for the last decade, and although there was a sort of a bit of an uplift during the pandemic, it's certainly sort of decreased since then. It hasn't sort of sustained that sort of uplift that we saw during COVID times. We know that resilient, connected communities really need volunteers, like informal volunteering, formal volunteering. Those were people that are the glue that really help with connecting those communities. And so from research, we know that the key barriers are really sort of people's lack of time, and sort of reflecting back on that cost of living also sort of is an issue for many people, sort of having that time to kind of take part and do social action, do some volunteering within their communities is a real challenge. However, it doesn't matter what sort of length of time, how much time you've got to volunteer. Anything that you do makes a real impact. Mm-hmm. And we know from, this can be just one-off community events, like putting on a big lunch with a team of people within your community all together, organising a big lunch. And we know that there's many benefits for organisers who do take part. So by doing a small event like the big lunch or whatever scale you would like to put on, we know that many organisers have a great range of benefits from taking part. They feel more connected to their communities as a result from organising an event. They've feel a stronger sense of belonging within it. They develop new skills and sort of have that experience to maybe do something else. And that sort of increased confidence we know that many organisers have from taking part. So it's a great kind of benefit for the organisers as well as their communities for doing some sort of social action, whether it be formal or informal. And the big lunch is a fantastic way to show what you can do and get out from doing something within your community.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I know a few people who go, no, I don't volunteer, but I go take them their paper and I go do that, and they just see it as being neighbourly, which is lovely. And that's that informal volunteering or connection. It's that glue that keeps people together.
Absolutely.
And I know what you were saying about people's cost of shortness of time, but actually our research has shown in the past, hasn't it, that you only have to do something at least once a year, and the benefits and the repercussions that go on from that and the connections that go on is actually helps foster that support network, which is one of the reasons. I mean, the big lunch has always been part of the Volunteers Week, where we've thanked and encouraged and shone a light and celebrated people who do volunteer informally and formally. And there's the whole month of community. So there's not a lack of opportunities to get involved in. So we've got loads of resources and information and lots of, I like to think, positivity, going right back to our values, to work together with anybody who wants to work with us so that we can ensure that our communities that we live in are nicer places to be and feel much more connected. So please join in with one small thing, get involved, find out some more. It'd be lovely to see you either again or to welcome new people to the Great Big Do this year. So thank you so much for listening.